Hello, this is Crypto Covey. I'm talking about the whole market today. I'm going to go into detail. None of this financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. If you want to go to a financial advisor, go to your bank. Go to, Vanguard and get financial advice from a financial advisor, not me. So anyway, now that we got that out of the way, I can actually tell you about the market. And I'm going to go into detail on a lot of things, where we are at, where we could go. I'm not going to tell you, I'm not going to give you any answers in this video. You have to think and come to your own conclusions and make a decision based on that. So look, we're going to start with Bitcoin. Bitcoin, just the general trend. I'm going to keep this video for the most part pretty simple. The trends of this market, you know, in a nutshell, investing is, in a nutshell, somewhat simple. Coins go up and down. They don't stay up forever. They don't stay down forever. Some coins go to zero. Some stocks go to zero. Some are riskier. Some are less risky. But everything's a risk at the end of the day, right? So Bitcoin, it's had a massive run from the beginning, right? And if you bought early, obviously you're in a great profit. And it had this little run. In each of the bull runs, you see Bitcoin running up and then crashing, running up, crashing, running up, crashing, running up, crashing, right? So we're in a crash right now. So you have to ask yourself, do you think that this is a good buy opportunity? We crashed over 50% from 126K to 60K. Right now we're at 68K. So what is the likelihood? Are we going to go up or down? I think we're having a little bit of bullish momentum because I think the Supreme Court ruled that the tariffs, this crazy Trump guy, is like doing all these stupid tariffs, right? And anyway, the Supreme Court ruled that those are, I don't know, something negative about the tariff. So that could be a bullish catalyst. That might be why we're up today. I'm not really sure. But anyway, we're doing a little bit better than we were, I think we hit 65K recently. But it looks like you have to ask yourself as an investor, where do you think this is going to go long term? Obviously, anything is possible. That's why I think it's always a good idea to take some profits because there's really no reason why. There's people who have Bitcoin who think Bitcoin's going to be around for 1,000,000 years. I mean, Bitcoin's only been around for like 15, 20 years. There's no guarantee it's going to go up forever, and it's naive to think so. And it's naive to think that it's always going to be on top. I mean, who knows if it's going to be on top forever? I mean, it's just people have no idea, If there's other coins that are actually being used, then that might actually change the whole market. However, Bitcoin has done really well, and if you're going to invest in Bitcoin, I don't have Bitcoin. I don't really advise it. I don't think it's a good currency because it's very ecologically inefficient. It's not good for the world, but it's the reality of the situation we're in right now. So you have to ask yourself, looking at this chart, it's gone up and down numerous times. Right now, is it up or down? Well, compared to here, it's down. So the question you have to ask yourself, do you think it's going to go back up if you're going to invest in Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin's a little bit less risky, but there's a lot of altcoins as well. And I'm going to go into that in a second. But before I do that, I'm going to talk about Bitcoin dominance. So people who have altcoins, that means coins outside of Bitcoin, basically, like myself, we're interested in what's going to happen with altcoins. Bitcoin dominance has to fall for altcoins to perform well. So if you look at this, 2020, 2015, that's when Bitcoin was around. It pretty much had all the market share. There was maybe one or two other coins that had some market share. Fell off a cliff right here, 28, when we had the massive run on alts. Then it went back up, kind of created another high at the, when we're back in a bear market. And again, during the alt season, 2021, it fell off a cliff again, 2022. And went from 70% down to, it looks like 40-ish%, maybe a little less. But anyway, it's gone back up during this cycle, and it hasn't broken down at all. So people who have altcoins, we were expecting alt season last year. We didn't get it. A lot of people lost a lot of money, including myself. I'm down in my portfolio. And anyway, so the question you have to ask yourself is, based on this trend, it's gone up. It's had a plateau, crashed, up, crash, up, and now you have to ask yourself. It crashed a little here, but you have to ask yourself: do you think it's going to crash, or do you think it's going to go up? There's Bitcoin maxis who think Bitcoin's going to be the only currency, and going to be like a global reserve currency and all that. And so they think that Bitcoin's this is going to go up actually. However, if you have altcoins, you don't want it to go up. You want it to go down. So, but you have to ask yourself, based on the trend of what has happened, what do you think is likely to happen? That is the question you have to ask yourself. Especially if you have altcoins. Fear and greed index, same thing. We're at 14. We were at 5 a couple weeks ago. We hit all-time lows. Fear and greed index goes from 0 to 100. Extreme fear to extreme greed. Right now we're in extreme fear. This has gone up and down, up and down, up and down, over and over again. For some reason, this chart only shows for September 2023. However, the pattern is the same. It goes up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, over and over again. Now, again, we're at the bottom. We hit 5, which is almost 0, and the high is 100. The max you could actually ever get is 100, and it's not likely you'll hit 100, but just as it's not likely you're going to hit 0. But anyway, so you have to ask yourself again, we're at 14, scales to 100. Where do you think this is going to go in the next few months, years, etc.? Do you think it's going to go up ever again, or do you think it's going to stay down? If you, and then you have to make a decision based on that. If you think that the fear, we're going to get back to greed or extreme greed, then, the coins that you have need to perform better in order to get to that level, obviously, So that's the question you have to ask yourself. We're going to hit 3 charts. One is HBAR. Look, I don't own any of these coins, so I'm just going to, just kind of give you a breakdown of, again, it's the same thing. You're looking at up and down, up and down, up and down patterns, right? So during a bull run for alts, HBAR did pretty well. Went up to like 50 cents, I believe. Well, actually here it just says 33 cents. So I thought it went higher than that though. So I don't know how accurate this is, but the chart, the trend is similar. Is going to be similar. So anyway, this is the all-time chart. Interesting. Oh wait, I don't know why this is not going back to 2021. So I don't really know why it's doing this. This is not all time. I'm not sure why it's showing that. Maybe the numbers are wrong. Anyway, as you can see, it went up, and then it went down, and then it went up again, and then it crashed again. So now you have to ask yourself, at this level, what do you think is likely? Is it likely to go up or down? Obviously, if any of these coins, including Bitcoin, goes to 0 and, they evaporate, that's a totally different thing. That means your coin has just lost all its value. That's possible with any coin. However, if you look at the trend, it's gone up and down, up and down, up and down. Where are we? We're not up, we're down. If you look at this chart, we were up here, and now we're down. What do you think is next? That's what you have to ask yourself. Same with ASTER. ASTER, I don't hold this either, but it's the same thing. It actually launched at a high, and then it's just been crashing. It had a little pump here in November 19th-ish, and then it crashed again. And then, a little bit of an attempt to move up, but again, another crash, and it's kind of plateaued out. So what do you have to ask yourself based on this chart, if ASTER continues to exist, what is the likelihood, up or down? Now again, that's the question. Again, I'm not telling you to invest in this coin. It's just an example. So I had another one. I had PEPE. I don't know if I can actually see it though. Let me see if I can. PEPE trading. Okay, this is a meme coin. It's the same thing though. You look at it on the all-time chart, right? Look at PEPE. It went up a lot and crashed. Went up a lot, crashed massively, and then went up a lot and then crashed again. And then we've been trying to make an uptrend here, but then we crashed again. So looking at this chart, are we up or down? Obviously, compared to this, we're down a lot. So if you think this coin is going to exist in the future, likelihood is what? What do you think it's going to do? Go up or down? These are the simple questions that you got to ask yourself if you're going to invest in any market. I mean, I don't understand why people buy the market at the top. I mean, actually everyone does, but everyone makes that mistake. I'm sure at some point or another you buy at the top and your coin just crashes. But at this stage, in this moment in time, what do you think is likely? That is what you have to ask yourself. And then you have to make a decision based on that. Again, this is not financial advice. My name is Crypto Covey. I hope you got value out of this. And if you did, I don't know, leave me a like or whatever. Tell all your friends, all your millions of followers. And then maybe I can get at least 10 followers on this or 10 viewers. I don't really care. This is just for you guys, whoever see it. And I hope you get some value out of this. And I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.